Constraints. People are constrained without their knowledge. Now there are constraints and there are restraints. Constraints. People are constrained without their full knowledge. They're not aware that they're constrained, but the constraint is deep within their psyche. They don't have full knowledge of these constraints, and they restrain themselves. It doesn't allow them to be completely free. They might emotionally be restrained. Now these constraints are very, very deep things. No one knows where they probably come from. This is a very perplexing thing. Now these constraints, they take shape in forms that people are unaware of. They don't do things what they want to do in life. Things like that. Now these constraints, they're so such an enigma that it doesn't even register with the person sometimes. These constraints are there. These constraints, they burrow themselves in and make themselves seem normal almost. Now people are constrained by things they see, things they hear, think that's normal. And then there are financial constraints. People can't do things without the financial leverage and stuff. And two completely different types of constraints there. So these constraints, they happen in various ways, through media, through looking at things, and people are unaware that they're constrained. Now, yes, these constraints are so deep within the psyche that people are unaware of these constraints. Financial constraints, in some ways, are, people are unaware of it. But if you tell a person that is financially constrained, that you're financially constrained, say you're financially constrained, they might not be able to say physically that they're financially constrained. And these financial constraints, they restrain a person. They can't do what they want. They can't do certain things. They can't. It holds them back from certain things. It shapes their mind in some way. You don't have the financial power to do this, just forget about it. And usually people do. Usually they do. Yeah. And this is a serious problem that is in the society, is in it's in pretty much everywhere. And you have to be careful of these financial constraints, because they're on your mind, but you're not aware of it. And it's in your psyche. It's in your person and stuff. This is serious stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's another type of constraint that occurs, is that there's the collective constraint, which is that no one else is doing it, so why should I do it? So this constraint happens as well, and it restrains you from doing what you think is right or best, or in some situations, So that's another type of constraint, as well as the financial constraint and stuff like that. That's a very powerful constraint. Yeah. Now these constraints, they're like a straitjacket on the person. They restrain the person from doing what he has to do. A constraint is not really a restraint. It's just something imposed on the person to stop them doing something. I don't know. So yeah, the financial constraint doesn't let them be who they really want to be. You know, think about it. You were probably more free as a child than you are as an adult. It's a crazy thing, that is. You know. I mean, if you say to a person, hey, if you wanna, suck on a lollipop, you should go and suck on a lollipop. I knew loads of students that loved something in their mouth. I don't know, as they were waking and stuff. Hey, I mean, they just wanted a lollipop. They like it just helps them think and keep on going and stuff. I mean, sometimes the mental strain of work is so much that they need that motivation thing there. But yet you would never see an adult sucking a lollipop because they'd be like, oh, what is this ridiculous thing? Huh? And yeah, and these are some of the ridiculous. Hey, so, sometimes people want a lollipop. I mean, it's a nice thing to suck on sometimes. Or some people wanna wear their socks in such a way. Yeah, I mean, especially in the winter, where it engulfs the pants a little bit. You know, so no wind can yeah, get up there. I mean, you never see an adult do that because they'd be like, that looks silly. But yeah, for some people, so many, uh, but some students are wearing it like that. What I'm saying is, financial constraints don't let you do and be a person that you really want to be. I mean, even small things, I mean, it's all in the small things that people have, the small little ticks. Sitting in a particular way, or having a certain habit. I mean, people don't like this thing about, that's just my habit. I want to do some work for an hour and then I just want to rest for a little while, and then I go for another hour and then rest. I mean, they want you to do it non-stop. And sometimes it's more productive to get 1 hour of work of a person and then stop for 15-20 minutes. Think about that. If you do exercise, you don't go non-stop. You'd have to stop for a little while, for within half an hour, have a 10-minute interval, and then you would get more out of the muscle then.